I just write it down. You can write everybody's name down. I think it'd be a good idea to do roll call, so you know everybody that was here. I would still do it.
Rich? Oh, Franny?
Here.
Joe?
Here.
Dennis?
Dennis. Here.
Yeah.
Chet? Linda? Here. Jared?
Here.
It's being recorded.
It's being taped, recorded. We are here talking about merging. We've been talking about it for months. We finally got together. So we want to know all the ins and outs of it. So the first thing is, how do we go about it?
Why don't you take visitors' comments first,
Okay,
and everybody
I can do that.
their chance to speak. So,
Bob?
Here several months ago, when this subject was brought, I don't recall whether it was a water or the sewer board, I suggested you contact the Municipal Authorities Association and discuss it with them. I suggested you contact other authorities that have done it and what the attributes or reasons for it was. Is there any report available on these matters and who you contacted to discuss this?
Not that I know of. I know we've been talking to attorneys and stuff like that on how to
But
do
you
it,
don't
what to do.
have any written report to share
I
with
don't
the public?
myself. Maybe somebody else does, but I don't myself.
Nothing. You know, so you just wonder about the credence who you talked about and everything there. Personally, I have significant reservations about merging the authorities. I didn't make notes for this meeting, but first of all, as far as combining it, each entity on its own is difficult to get your arms around, especially for people that work a full-time job elsewhere. And even if you don't, you're going to be spending a lot of time at either the sewer authority or the water authority. So to fully get your arms around the problems, the issues that face both authorities for one individual, and you have to have good information, you have to have good understanding what's going on to make good decisions. And I think it's going to be a struggle. If these are together, I mean, hey, Richie sat on the water board, or each one of you sat on one of the boards. How much do you know about the other board? I mean, there you have the sewer authority. I mean, the three sitting supervisors, I give Mr. Crowley credit because he comes to both the water and the sewer boards. I mean, I've never seen Jeremy attend one sewer board meeting, yet he's empowered here as a supervisor to have a voice in that. Really, he's got two voices. He's got one on the water authority and one on the board of supervisors as far as merging, which I don't think is fit and proper, but that's the way it is. Under the second-class township code, the supervisor can serve on both authorities. This has been taken to the courts and it's found to be legal. In a city or a borough, you cannot sit on borough council and serve on an authority. It's illegal. But second-class townships are exceptions to the law. Once again, how much, for the people sitting on the sewer board, how much do you know of the affairs of the water board? And vice versa. I mean, even the ignoring people on the water board. One glaring thing for the water authority, every month we get the operator's report. There's the raw water and the filtered water. Typically, there's 2 million gallons of difference. These are 2 meters in series. 1 meter is the water going into the filters, 1 meter is the water that's coming out. So there's got to be an error here someplace, and nobody questions it. Nobody has questioned it in the past year. Here you have the sewer authority. One of the issues facing them is infiltration. We've discussed this over the years. Nothing's being done. This is a potential problem if DEP comes down in this community with a consent order. But yet, nothing's being done. You know, I think there's enough here just for one board to attend to one operation. When you take 5 people and you say, okay, now you're gonna manage the affairs of both water and sewer, then wow, you guys are gonna be hard pressed. And I think it's even going to make it harder to get board members to step into that position and sit there and have to have answers in both fields.
Okay, thank you.
So, wait, I still got more to say.
Well, we're not gonna, no, we're only 3 minutes.
Your minds are
We're giving
made up. Is that what
everybody-
you're telling me?
No, we're giving each buddy a time.
No,
We
it's
can't
about
spend all
collecting
the-
information.
Okay, Victor,
Collecting
you have anything to
information.
say? Thank you. You have something to say?
I would like to give my 3 minutes to Bob.
No, we're not doing that. We're going down the road here. We're not playing games. Go ahead. Do you have anything to say?
Okay, I don't at this time, but if I could be allowed later, if I have a question asked.
We'll see as we go, because we don't know what's gonna come out of this.
Okay, thank you.
Mr. Lloyd?
No,
Howard? Nadine?
I'd like to say, which you always forget about, Franny, this is not a regular meeting. This
is a
isn't-
workshop.
Pardon?
This is a workshop.
Right, a workshop is not limited to 3 minutes speaking time.
Well, we actually don't have to ask anybody out there anything, do we?
Well, then don't,
Let's do it.
because you're not listening to us,
Well, we're
Franny.
asking, but we're not gonna spend all night on one person. So go ahead, say your piece, so we can continue.
I think, I agree with Bob, all the points that he's bringing up. You people don't have a clue about the other boards. You don't have a clue of entirely of your own board, let alone of the water, or the people on the water. They don't understand theirs, and they don't understand, not even this much of the sewage. It's said for both boards. I'm not picking on just one.
Okay, go ahead. Next, Korea?
Just like I said, I don't think you're not gonna make a decision overnight on this, I hope.
They're gonna be made tonight. No, can't make no decisions tonight.
But Houston Township, a year ago, they emerged to one authority. And I think between all the members of the boards up there, you should go and visit and see some of the stuff, how it's operated there. Because I heard pros and cons and some of the issues they have there.
Okay. In the back row? Tom, you have anything to say? Okay, now we start this thing. First thing, anybody on here have anything to say that we should be looking at or not be looking at?
Myself, from a cost sharing standpoint, one secretary, the employees, as far as maintenance projects go, you could lend an employee back and forth. One office with the expenses that come with one office rather than 2. Those are the things I'm looking at, is cost sharing. We all obviously all have a lot of expenses there. It's gonna take some money up front. I have to pay a lawyer to sort all this out, but I think in the long run, it would save a lot of money. We also don't have a full board on either side.
Haven't had for a long
Haven't
time.
had for
A long time.
years.
whose fault's that though?
Yeah, whose fault is it?
Why, we never denied anything. Mr.
Yes,
Bishop.
you did.
One person is all we ever denied.
I was
We're
told,
not going down this road.
Franny, you want answers to questions, and damn it, you don't
We're
listen.
not- We're not listening, we're here.
Anybody
for
that
the
says
workshop.
anything contrary to
That's
you,
good,
you shut them up. You will not be objective.
that's good.
Yeah, that's right, that's the truth.
The only thing I do have, when you say merging boards, now this is from the employees, the sewage. The only thing I do have is, they say, if you merge, they don't wanna be working at the sewerage and saying, well, we gotta go out and work on the water. So I don't know, now, I think if you merge and they wanna do that, then they're willing to do that, but I don't, if they merge, I don't think you have the power to say, you're gonna come and do that now.
You should.
Yes, you do.
Well, what I'm trying to say is, the employees have a problem.
Well, there's a daily routine in each facility that has to be done. We know that. But I mean, when you have a water line break, when you need to have 2 men so somebody can enter a manhole, then in that situation, you have enough employees to get the job.
I understand, I'm just giving you
But
feedback.
yeah, there's
from everyone.
definitely gonna have to be job descriptions, just like there are, and the daily routine that has to be done.
Sandy, could
Yes.
you give me an idea of what you mean by a lot of money would be saved by merging?
Well,
Give me some numbers that, you must have thought about them sometime. Like, for instance, you have a part-time secretary, we have a part-time secretary, you're gonna have a full-time secretary,
right,
right? So you didn't save a nickel,
right,
correct?
correct.
My experience over the last couple of years has been, there hasn't been any cooperation between the water company and the sewer company. It's always been AC/DC or negative, positive, there's never been any really cooperation, so how's it gonna improve?
Well, if you have one board working toward a common goal, it's gonna have to improve.
And the other thing is, you have trouble keeping a board, we have trouble keeping a board. How much more difficult would it be if you only have 5 members now for the 2 authorities, and you can't even fill that? Because a lot of people are gonna be reluctant to join something that's gonna be much more complicated, like it's been always stated here, so I think my concern is those kind of things. And I can see some of the attitudes of some of the employees saying, screw it, I'm not going over there and work. Who's gonna say, well, you have to do that? That's the other thing, you know. So somehow you're gonna have to have some kind of management or something to control this. You know, it's gonna be a free-for-all.
Yeah.
Personally, I think.
Can I make a comment about the secretary?
Mhm.
I mean, I understand you want to try to save money, but don't try to save money in the wrong places. There's been turnover of secretaries in the water authority and the sewage authority in the last 2-3 years. You might want to think about 2 secretaries. This is a lot. I'm not sure one person, and Jamie, you might have some input into this, I'm not sure one person can do all the work for the 2 authorities, and I don't know all that's involved besides billing. I know it isn't just billing, but God forbid if the secretary gets sick, and she might need a week off for vacation or whatever, there's nobody. So don't be so quick to think we're going to save money on the secretary. And the other thing, I have to support Bob and Nadine about trying to learn about 2 authorities. Because I know, I'll just say some. Some don't do any homework. You come to the meeting and that's it. And you read the minutes and whatever during the meeting. You're not prepared to come to one meeting. That's a big responsibility to know everything about the water. That's more than enough. And then to also try to learn what you need to learn as a basic board member for the sewage. It's overwhelming. I wouldn't want that job. I seriously think each of you should think about that. It's a lot to learn. You need to know the Pennsylvania Municipal Authority Code and other laws. So
Okay,
think about
anybody
it.
else? Chester, you have
Input,
anything?
yeah, from the rest of the table, I mean, we've only heard from 3 of us
Only
here.
heard from
Okay.
3. No, I don't have anything.
I mean, as far as the operators go, I feel they have their day-to-day jobs they need to do. And they need to stay with them, with their current positions on their day-to-day operations. You can't just, you know, like Danny said, you can't, for water line breaks, we can't pull an operator and say, hey, you're going over here when they have their own job to do. I mean, if they're caught up, then I can see, but you know what I mean, I think they need to stay in their designated. You know what I mean?
Did you talk with any of the guys at the water plant on how they would feel to coming over to this?
No, I mean, we haven't even
We have.
I mean, this is it, we're talking, that's what we're talking tonight, you know, I mean, this is just the starting
Not to
point.
bring it up,
So-
but there is a common employee, TJ. TJ was hired for the sewage and he's hired for the water.
And just like the
There was
secretary.
one,
But yeah,
You
if
always
there's a water
have-
break, then he's gonna, you know,
Shouldn't he probably be here at your next meeting, that workshop? He may have some input on all of this.
How long does he work with the water company? Isn't
What's that?
I think he's an 8-hour guy.
he worked there.
TJ's been there since July,
He's been there since July.
yeah.
Okay.
He's a maintenance employee.
I just met him one day, I don't know anything about it.
Is there 8 hours of work, 5 days a week for him at the Water Authority? Or-
That's currently what he's,
Okay,
Yeah.
so then how's he going to be shared with the sewer authority? Is that above and beyond the water authority?
This all has to be stuff worked out after it's merged.
No, he's already working there,
He
Chester.
approached, he
As of
approached
right
the
now, how's he
sewage
work?
and wanted like.
Oh,
half
if he has
their-
to work, he was hired, he hasn't, I don't think he's even worked for you yet, has he? But he's gonna go in the evenings and train with, their operator, Holly.
So how does that fall after his 40-hour work week?
So that's like a second job.
That's a second job, as of
It's
right
just like
now,
Perry
he's working
working
for two
in
different employers, so it's a second job.
It's like Perry working in Benazet Township then.
Right.
Yeah, okay. There's no relationship to share him.
Not, no, not now.
But how about after work, if you combine them, what happens? Then you're
Well,
gonna pay
then,
him.
yeah, something would have to be worked out in the way that, what his hourly responsibilities are, you know what I mean?
Okay,
So that doesn't change, that raises the cost.
Well, if it's beyond 8 hours, it would be just the same as any other employee, but I mean, there could be things that are certain days here and certain days there, you know.
Just the
Have
sewage,
have you looked at the manpower requirements for the water authority as a separate entity? And the manpower requirements for the sewer authority as a separate entity? And then the manpower requirements for two authorities together? Has anybody looked at that?
I don't see where that would change, Paul. Where would that change?
Then there's no savings there, right, Franny?
Where are you saying, man?
I'm asking, you guys
Stay
are-
on a job.
You guys empowered to make the decision.
The only thing
and I
that
would
would
think
change
you
is
to research
if
this.
something would happen and they'd be needed. Now, if they're willing and there's not real busy at the time with the storage, they could run over there and help. If there's an emergency with the water, maybe them guys could come over there and help. I think it's a good thing in a way, I mean, for both, if the employees get along and do, you know, and
But
work.
it should be up to employees. The board is gonna make the decisions what they're
We are,
gonna do.
we are.
That's
The
it.
idea
They're
is-
working for the board.
The idea, I'm saying,
That's
work-
the thing. Let's just do it for the
Well,
other
it's good. It'd be good for
His hours
employees
don't
and
decline
the
when
boards to work
consent
together.
order's done.
Yeah.
Don't you
It's up to the employee to see
Well,
what
you
they
don't
wanna
want
do.
available time.
That's what I'm saying.
I don't know
You
if
gotta
you
watch out for you push
You
out.
always have a boss.
Just
You
resume.
gotta answer to somebody.
You
I can
understand?
see your operator, yeah. You got like Tyler running the plant, he got his license now. Then the same as the storage, okay, those people. But between Perry and Taylor and whoever else, maintenance, hey, you got a problem here, you're
Maintenance,
going
yeah,
into it.
exactly.
Not,
And-
I'm the employee, I don't wanna go to the water today, it's 10 below zero.
so bad.
Well, yeah,
And that's
many,
what
Franny
many
said
employees
earlier.
said that, you're right,
Yeah.
it's,
And that's what I asked Jeremy, once this consent order's done, then that's,
There's gonna be a lot of things, yeah.
that's gonna be a
we've got
lot
a lot of projects going on right now that.
of leading it off,
busy
but
at
what
least 8 hours
Taylor
a
has
day.
right now.
But the idea is say employee decides where he wants to work.
No,
The
no.
board makes that decision.
Right.
Well, you're going to have to write all new job descriptions, are you not?
You'd have to, if you're gonna do it, you're gonna merge officially, then you'd have to go through and
For everybody.
make sure the bylaws,
Yeah.
the job descriptions, everything is melded together and done the way that the board would
Could I
decide.
ask one question before you go on? Why do you want to join? What are your reasons for wanting to join these two authorities?
Jeremy just said it's for cost. Personally,
It
it's
doesn't
been discussed
guarantee
and
you're
talked
gonna-
about this, but I think
Doesn't guarantee you're gonna
there's
save money.
a lot more discussion needed, and it doesn't sound good to me, you know.
Are there other,
But I mean, we're in the
other
beginning
reasons?
stages
Well,
here,
this is the
so.
first discussion we've even had.
Yeah.
as a group.
There'll be
some-
more, by the sounds of it.
But something prompted you to have a joint discussion. What was the reasons?
One thing is no board members. You said here, there's 8 board
Again,
members.
that can be resolved
That can be
at the next
resolved.
meeting.
I don't see a lot of people coming up there to join.
Hey, you've shot
We
more
haven't
people
had
down
one.
than me, Franny.
We haven't had one since what you joined. We haven't had one since you joined.
Could I ask you a question, Jeremy? Does the township regularly advertise when they have openings in board meetings, you know, like
Yes,
in
we
the
do.
newspaper, and ask for someone?
We don't put an ad out like an employment ad, but we mention it every meeting, so it does get printed on
Just
occasion.
put one out saying, hey, we really
It's been in the
need
paper
some help,
before too.
you know, and to be more aggressive in finding board
Mhm.
members. I think
Well, when they had board members lined up, Danny, they refused to put them on. And they're telling you that it's one person, it has been multitude of people.
I have not seen multitude in the storage. I have not, and I will go in there.
Well, let me tell you, I know
That's
that you
it.
wouldn't put Wendy Bonono on when she put her name in, you wouldn't
Where?
put Maria Perazzi on when she put her
They're
name
not on
in.
the storage. Might be for the water, not the
Regardless of
storage.
where it was.
No, not on the storage. I'm just trying to tell you.
Well, you're saying you never turned down board members.
I'm
You were a
just saying-
supervisor, Franny, when this all went
I'm
down.
saying there's never been none for the storage except the ones we got on there.
Franny, you said you'd quit if I ever got appointed to a board.
I probably would, yes.
Yeah, so,
So, you
but I
know,
guess I don't offer anything, do I?
Now, this is-
All right, yeah.
We're not gonna
You
get
know-
this argument.
Actually, we're supposed to run this as separate
I think-
entities as far as the sewage and the water. They're separate entities, it's just a same board.
Yes.
Well,
Somehow you want to merge it, I thought maybe that's illegal to do that?
No, I mean, it depends on how you want to do it. You can have a board and 2 completely separate entities with one board that's the same. You can do the complete merger where it's a joint municipal, authority, so that everything, like we said,
Everything's run on.
from everything, one set of employees.
The
all the
money
way down
and
through.
responsibilities for the debts of both entities would be combined then?
No,
That part will stay, no, that part will stay separate.
It has to stay separate.
That has to stay separate.
Yeah, the accounts, the funds wouldn't come
So you
in.
can run a company, but you can't intermingle the funds.
right, correct.
But you can intermingle the laborers.
I think you should go visit Houston Township and just see how they operate.
Yeah,
We'll
I
sit
agree,
back
I
and
want to
listen.
do that. I agree with you.
You go, Danny, I'll go up with you.
Okay, that's a good, as soon as, anytime you want.
Yeah.
Does each board know how much debt there is between?
I had talked to some people.
I did too, that's what gave me a lot of
But it's
information.
kind of less complicated than our operation, but I would be happy to
Yeah.
attend. So I'll be happy to go with you, yeah.
You know, Chet mentioned that when they were talking about employees, that you should wait to determine the hours and how many employees you want and everything until it's all merged. But don't you think you should be hammering all that out to see it's feasible before you merge?
right.
Don't you think you should be figuring out that's the only way you're going to find out if it's cost effective or not? You don't put the cart before the horse and then find out that you're in worse shape than you were before you merged.
you know, and that is that township and it's not illegal. The board of supervisors can manage this stuff. So it just dissolve both authorities and let the board of supervisors do it, right, Victor? What do you think of that?
I think you better leave it go, Bob.
I think we at least got you to say something, didn't we?
Well, anyway, let's stay on the subject.
I got a question out there. How much debt does the 2 authorities have?
We got about 2 million. We got $1.5 million.
They got about 700,000.
Now we have about 200,000.
Who, Danny? 2 million.
Well, we're about
They're over 2 million.
We're about $2 million.
Yeah, you want
The water authority.
you want the exact number?
We're
It
700.
was higher, but they're bringing it down.
So,
700,000, yeah.
yeah, a year, I'm sorry.
No.
2 million.
Now we pay.
That's not gonna go away no matter what. We're talking about merging the boards and why we wanna merge them and what's gonna be the benefits.
No, I understand. I got a lot of ideas on that.
I think there's gonna be benefits in the way we should have one full-time secretary for doing that.
It sounds like a lot of complications to me.
Well, you can think as you want, but I think there'd be any more complications than working
You want to be
part-time.
on a board that runs both?
No,
Me either.
Do any of you want to be on the board when it merges?
Not me.
Any of you want to be on the board when it merges?
I won't be here.
Any of you?
I'll be on the board, obviously.
I'll be here. I'm here.
Chester.
I'm staying.
Huh?
I'm staying.
Richie.
Thought you were getting
Richie's
out.
staying.
You already got enough to stay right now?
I'll stay on the water
Remember I keep
authority.
telling you.
When it doesn't merge.
Or you don't even have 5, then, according to that little
No, they came here.
question.
Well,
And
you
they
know,
don't even have any information about the debt.
No, there's no way I'd be crazy enough.
They have no information.
I'm familiar with the debt. I mean, we have the audit. we
But
look
where's
at
your,
the
you know
audit.
what, if two boards are coming to discuss merging, everybody sitting there should have a list of all the debt from each one, and how many have any information to present tonight? How much research have any of you guys done
I
to
think
present
everybody
tonight?
here knows pretty much the debt.
No, they
Everybody
didn't.
Pretty much knows the debt.
No.
on this board.
I do the debt.
I don't know
Most of us
anything
been
about
on
the
both
water.
boards.
To me, it's investment in a bank, I don't know what it was ever taken out for.
From what I understand, in the beginning, Jeremy mentioned the cost savings. That's what it sounds like this is mostly about to me. With the secretary and supplies or whatever else you need.
But he doesn't have anything to document that it is
No.
cost savings.
Now, that's something we have to work on.
You should have done it for this meeting.
This is the starting point of the conversation.
This is where you should have had information.
When we leave here, are there going to be tasks assigned for individuals to research certain
When we don't
things?
have any time to work together.
Which, well, it's not gonna
We may
get
not
done.
resolve anything at
It's
this
not gonna
rate.
get
I
done
mean,
unless somebody takes the bull by the horns here.
You know what we should do, Jeremy?
Just come here and swing the guns without
Get
any,
us that information.
any, yeah, go ahead.
First, we
See
have
what
to-
it costs to run a sewer company with the labor and the secretary, et cetera. See what it costs to the water company. And then figure how much you can save by sharing this guy with that company or whatever, or this secretary with that other company, or.
You already know how much it costs, because each authority should have had your budget in front of you for tonight. So that's the cost.
I'd say, I think the biggest problem you have, if you merge the boards, you can actually put people on full-time.
And that's gonna save money?
And, well, yes, you will, because you don't have a bunch of people on part-time, you don't got people quitting because they're not full-time.
And you're gonna get them all health care?
You're gonna sooner or later have to do that anyways to keep anything. The water company already gives most of their employees health care, do they not?
On the full-time.
Most of them do.
We have 2.
We got two.
For the employee, and then it's $100 towards any, we only put $100 towards any additional dependent.
I'm saying, you guys got, what, 2 full-timers right now, is what I'm saying? 2 full-timers right now. And if we go with this.
And you have no full-timers, you have
Yeah.
30-hour-a-week, Barry,
30 hours a
roughly,
week.
and he works more than 30 hours a week. And you have part-time help
Yes,
here, there, and there.
How many guys are working at the sewer company?
we have like 4 of them in and out.
That's
They have a lot of
Well,
part-time
the
help.
secretary and all, yeah, as needed.
How many did you have before you started training? On the board?
On the board, we had 3, we had secretaries, and always one worker at the plant and one that come in.
So you
And
had-
always backups, we always had an extra backup too, so it was always.
Yeah, but when you started, there was only 3 employees total.
No, 4,
No,
we had 4, yes, we did, we always had.
before you
backup.
started. And listen to the question.
We had 4. We always had 4, Keith.
No, you had 3.
But the secretary.
Get to what's going on right now, instead of
Well, you're getting to
past.
the point. The point is the cost. If you go back and
Right.
look at what your cost.
How many we need now is the question, that's what I was trying to drive at.
Well, you
I mean,
have-
you
you
have,
sure
how many
have 6 or
hours
7.
of payroll are you paying out in a week? You got Perry working 30, or more.
You're paying 4.
Say you got Perry working 40.
And then we got Huffy part-time, but
Jim's been coming down, doing some little projects for us.
We have to look the
I've
house.
been over helping Perry, for example, he'll be off Monday, out going there, out going and do the daily testing, but he gets back at night. Holly comes up once a week and checks on things, I mean, as needed, you gotta have somebody there to cover the plant, that's it. I don't
and then we have
basically
Devon.
see where either budget is gonna change. And as far as expenses, it's always gonna cost you more to operate these two plants. I don't care about saving a dollar here or there. It costs a ton of money to run these two plants. And that's just a fact of life. So we're sitting here talking about people. People come and go. If I had one person say, I'll take the job, making 12, 14 bucks an hour, but I ain't gonna do it unless I get 18. You're always gonna have that problem. So when the problems come up, you address them and work them out. They're not gonna go away, and you can't settle anything here tonight. This was just to discuss it. If you wanna merge the two boards and get a 5-member board, a couple of people, like, somebody's gonna have to take it and work with the sewage. Couple's gonna have to be assigned little jobs to do for the chairman and the vice chairman. I mean, everybody's got other work. I don't know, maybe I'm the only one retired here. Linda?
I'm retired.
Her and I'll take it, but all I'm saying is, it's a communication among everybody that's been lacking. I had to get on Holly Monday night. She never calls me. I said, you better start calling me. I want to know what's going on over at the plant. She was over there late 30 Monday. I got a phone call. That's the way things work. And like I said, whether you merge or don't, I'm indifferent one way or the other. But there again, somebody's going to step to the plate here one way or the other.
You know, for Holly there, the water authority has an operator's report every meeting packet. There's never an operator's report in the sewer authority meeting packet. Here you're paying this person $1,000 a month, and you know, the board to be appraised what's going on. It shouldn't be just a phone call from you, Chester. It should be a written report from her submitted to the sewer authority board.
I worked on it Monday night, Bob. I worked on it. I'm going to get one from her.
What, you didn't say
Tomorrow
that?
night's meeting.
You said you made
Well,
a
I'm
phone call.
saying it now. I'm
You
working
should
with
get
it.
a written report.
That's all I can say.
You're the boss here, Chester. It's not working on it.
Never been the
This-
boss.
Oh, yes, the
We work
board,
for the employees.
the
Didn't you know
board
that?
is the boss.
They tell us when they'll come and go and when they'll punch
Only
in and when
because
they'll
you won't
punch
take
out.
the bull by the horns.
Well, they threw their keys in and walked off the job
Well,
twice, Bob.
Then maybe you ought to get.
I did.
What did, Jeremy,
What's wrong with this
they're on the
crap?
wrong subject. What did,
Uh-huh.
they're on the wrong subject.
Again, yes.
Hey, Jeremy, what did the lawyers say?
Hold on a second, then he was
What's the
asking
lawyer
you something.
saying?
Personnel problems, because somebody
Right.
gotta get out to get quality personnel,
Right,
you know, so.
Well-
the benefits of that, we have to work out those costs.
right.
But we've had ongoing problems with secretaries and so forth, and not been able to get information we needed. But we hope to work that out in the near future. And
Okay.
we've had problems with Yvonne being out, so things have been a little difficult.
Right.
The lawyer, I know you've been talking to the attorney and stuff, and what's the process that he says we have to go through if we will do this?
Well, he hasn't given me the process yet. He will, was waiting to see what comes out of what we decide. Ultimately, you first got to take a vote at your own respective meetings, and then a solicitor or both solicitors could start the process, of the work on both sides. But we're going to have to kind of lay out what it is we're asking them to do before they take on that work. Once we both vote on it,
Don't you think you should study it and understand it before you go down the road with
Going through the
attorneys?
process, Bob.
Don't you think?
yeah,
you should call
he
me-
asked me a question, I'm answering it. Okay?
I think
Go ahead.
that's how the process is.
If we ever arrive at that decision that we're gonna merge, then you have to hand it over to a solicitor and let them run it through the legal process so that everything's, all your ducks are in a row. That's gonna be the cost. There's gonna be a cost to that, obviously.
Well, I think.
But that's,
If we do.
neither here nor there until we make that decision.
Yeah, I mean, I think if we do, only one solicitor could take care of it. I don't think we need two to pay and two to work on at one time.
No, I think we should have one.
That can be determined
That
at
should
that
be
time.
determined at that time.
Going back to somebody from the water authority, I presume myself, somebody from the sewer authority, maybe sit down and go over what kind of structure of employees and payroll and possibly, are they gonna be full-time, are they gonna be part-time, and put some numbers to it.
Well, what do you start your people out at the water company? What do you start your
What's the
people
starting
at?
wage?
What's the starting?
11 or 12, 12.
About the same
TJ
as ours.
Sewage.
Okay, that's what ours is going. Okay.
Why don't you have the secretaries put this down on paper? Each authority, the employees you have now, what they're getting paid an hour, how many hours they work, what the cost is a year, something like that to start.
I was just proposing that, wasn't I?
Put that on the list.
Okay, yeah, I mean, that's what I'm saying, I don't wanna dump it all on the secretary, I think the board member.
I'm saying-
No, the secretary's just gonna give you the information as it stands today.
That's part of coming up with what's the real cost of operating each operation.
3,000.
We just have to assess that. We haven't had the opportunity to do it, but that's the primary reason we're here.
Mhm.
So that has to be before we consider
We
voting.
spend about 36,000 a year on wages.
Okay, well, we'll get, I mean, we're gonna get hard numbers on that, on the employees and what kind of structure it is, we'd like to see if it merged. Debt service doesn't, I mean, debt service is debt service. I've looked at your audits, your debt service is long-term, and
It's gonna stay
it's
there.
from each phase that you put in, and there it is. I mean, you're,
That should, a merger should not do anything to do with the debt thing in the first place. Unless you're gonna get rid of people or hire people. And I don't see any of that happening.
again, we're talking earlier, each have a part-time secretary working 20 hours a week. If you have one secretary, in my opinion, in the office full-time, you're getting more coverage in your office for problems, payments, employee problems. You know, a lot of times employees call me at work and say, well, the secretary's already gone and I need this information, and you're gonna have to wait till tomorrow because, you know, there's no way to get it.
I think that our secretary needed more time. She needed more of some other things too, like sports. I'm not criticizing her in a way, but I'm saying is that it's a difficult job when we're talking about billing every month. You got 600 entries to make, just put in a computer when you get the checks and, you know. So it takes a lot of the time for the hours that they have.
Mhm.
But it would definitely be a real full-time job, I think, for one secretary.
Right.
So would you have both offices up at the water office and take this out of here? Or that's something else to think
Well,
about?
that's, yeah, I mean,
I
to
would
me,
say-
it makes sense for it to be here. It's accessible to everybody. But that's my opinion of it. That's, would have to be determined, you know?
Well, one thing, whatever you do, when you have office hours, you gotta have somebody here. Now, if somebody on the board is gonna give that person different duties for the day and take them away from the office, you've got a problem. Because when you have office hours, that person has to be here. I come up here 3 times to pay a bill, same bill, nobody here. If you want that person to go get the mail, if you want that person to go to the bank, they can't do it during office hours, so you gotta give them another half hour before they come to work or whatever. Because when people walk in that door to pay their bill, somebody's gotta be here.
All of our secretaries from the township to the water to the sewer all go to the bank or the post office and conduct their business throughout the day.
They're all
As
floating.
necessary, it's just,
They're all floating
You know, I
around
mean,
here every day of the week. at different times.
I mean, it's
It takes
doesn't-
15
yeah.
minutes for me to, I put a sign, please wait. I go to the bank,
I don't
I go
think
down,
that's-
I pick up my other coupons, if there's more down there, I go right back.
You put a sign up.
Yes, I put a sign up.
See, that's the thing,
That's
you put
my-
a sign up.
My
You
sign
got
up.
in 15 minutes or whatever.
And that's what needs done. I mean, if you leave,
It should have
You
been
know.
time.
I will return at this time.
exactly.
Yes,
I mean,
Yeah, that's
Going
good.
fishing.
it's not.
Well, that's something that should be done.
Let's list, why don't we list all the different subjects that we need to look into? You know, we've had suggestions from everyone, or having suggestions, list them. Attend the Houston, research with the Houston group to see how it functions, if it functions well. I know a couple of people, they'll tell us, but we'll attend their meetings to see how they operate with their meetings, having a meeting for water and sewage at the same time. what else is on the list? Financials, we gotta go back and look at the budgets on both sides of the street. Look at the cost of the budgets and see where there can be savings. You know, so if you're going to make an argument for that, you have to have numbers, and we'll look at the numbers and see if we can come up with those numbers that we need.
Would you consider combining the bills like Du Bois does?
I think that's a good idea.
Yeah, because
You
Du
mean
Bois,
like mailing out the bill? Is that what you're,
no, when they mail out their water sewage bill, the one side has their water on it, the other side has their sewage, and then they have a total. But I'm not sure how they do that, if they do sewage on monthly or not.
Houston Township has one bill.
There was a discussion that Jamie and I had would make it cheaper on mailing costs for sure. And then I'm not sure how they do that when it comes back in, being that you can't go make funds. I'm assuming you have to have another account.
You have to split
Deposit everything into one account and then
You have to
separate
split it out.
Right.
And then they must do their sewage quarterly then in Du Bois. I used to get my bills
The
quarterly,
bill just came quarterly for water and sewage.
water and sewage both.
I need to,
One way or the other, either that or just break the water bill down to a month
Monthly.
listen here.
as well.
Everybody's talking, same.
Right. Yeah, that was a thought for me to
Well,
save
Jeremy and
money.
I were talking this time, huh, Jeremy?
Yeah.
Yeah,
You know,
okay.
you've been in that office, so you understand that, but I mean, that would make it easier, and if you have the, software people set it up so that it generates it that way, you're only printing one set of bills and.
Right.
The way Houston, that's what Houston Township did. They have one bill now. They estimated the water over the first 2 months, and then they get one bill now.
Right.
As far as things on the list, could you contact the Municipal Authorities Association and ask them for case studies where they have merged two separate authorities, similar to what's being proposed here, the results, savings, expenses? I mean, see what other people put together. And even go to Houston Township, get their studies. Did they do any studies up there? But
Do you mean
I would go,
yeah?
We'll find out.
I'd go to the Municipal Authorities Association and ask them for their reports and
I did call
studies.
that, Bob,
Huh?
a couple of months back and just asked that question, and there's pros and cons on both sides.
Well, let's see the studies.
That's what they said. I don't
Let's see
see
the
those
studies.
studies, but the lady told me on the phone that there's pros and cons.
Well-
Some made out good, and some wish they wouldn't.
Yeah, so there you go, but let's see the studies and understand. If you understand the mistakes somebody else made, then you can avoid it. And if you have a study to review that, it can save you from getting burned.
I'm gonna ask you, Tom, to put you on the spot. Yes, do you work with any authorities that are joining?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, and so, I mean,
People,
how do you feel about
I
it?
have no.
One way or the other, good and bad and different?
Hey.
Hey, Joe, I asked Tom, since he's the engineer on both sides, well, Eads is the engineering company on both sides of the fence, if they work with joint municipalities and his thoughts on it.
Most of them are very efficiently run in that respect. They do have separate divisions. At that point, you take a common board like yourself that has a hierarchy to it, but they still maintain a separate divisional structure between water and sewage. Even down to the point of laborers, equipment, operators, employees and whatnot, they have a completely independent division between water and sewer. It runs very efficient.
Do the boards meet more than once a month, though?
They meet twice a month.
Sure.
They have workshops, they active, Bob's absolutely right. The board members have to be very actively involved and very knowledgeable on both sectors.
Are they small municipalities?
This one's fairly large. The one that I'm referring to is very large, but there are some other ones that are small
You got some names for the people up there on the board?
for them to contact.
Yeah.
Highland Sewer and Water Authority.
Is that the
I'll
only
give you their
one?
website, you can look at their website, look at all the stuff that you have.
Highland Township.
Highland Sewer and Water Authority, it's actually represents two townships, well, one township, one borough, Richland Township and Geistown Borough, in the Johnstown area. They have a 9-member board, I believe 5 are represented from one township and one's from the borough, so it's a 5-4 split political subdivision. But they serve 27 different municipalities. They have facilities.
Big
And
population.
predominantly, that's their water. Their water is well-reaching, but their sewage is localized to the borough and the township, so. But that's a good one. But yes, they're very actively involved in.
They get paid to do their job though too, don't they, Tom?
Pardon me?
They get paid to do their job though too, don't they?
The board members are, I think they receive a small stipend. They're mostly volunteers, for the most part, but they dedicate a lot of their extra time to managing the facility. Yes, they put in a lot of extra time. They certainly don't get compensated for the time that they put in, as a board member.
But they do get compensated.
But they do get a small stipend.
You're speaking about there, this is just a small area here.
Sitting and listening to this
Actually, I believe he's-
dialogue tonight, I didn't expect anything different. This seems to be the cart before the horse. I think there's a lot of stuff that needs to be considered, and quite honestly, I have to recommend that you guys talk to somebody at the DCED and do this study that Bob is referring to. I think you need to start with, are you willing to sit down and discuss this further? Possibly file for a grant application, bring in a professional, look at all the accounts on both sides, and study it in a professional manner. And I would suggest you contact the DCED, the organization within the state that really facilitates this kind of discussion. And I think you would be eligible for a grant if you wanted to go that avenue. They have some professional guidance grants that can facilitate that. That's my suggestion, if you wish to consider this further.
From what I see here, the members sitting here, we're looking at Houston Township, which is what, a smaller township than Jay Township?
Oh, yeah, population.
Yeah, they're seeing that they're combining of the two authorities is working pretty smooth, but they don't have near the population down here and the problems. This area here has more problems than they have up there. Whether it's, who knows, personnel or whatever. But
Yeah, you're probably half the size of
yeah,
this.
so it's probably working fine for them, but then again, us, we have to do a lot of talking about it. This is just the primary thing here right now tonight.
I think Houston's got 200.
Is that what it is?
Right around there.
Yeah, but they purchased their water.
Yeah, that's right. We don't have-
That's probably
And that brings up another point there.
Process.
Dennis, that brings up another point, they purchase their water. They're thinking, talk on the street is, putting their suck system in, which is gonna cut off of this system, diminish this flow going to them.
What kind of system?
They're getting their own water system.
What's their own water system? What would have an impact on us?
You're right, you have to think all things ahead, because once they would take money out of the pocket of this authority here, then what else is gonna happen, But,
If you look at Jay Township,
they're our biggest customer right now, Houston Township.
that's right. If you look at Jay Township's
Their biggest
total water
customer.
sold last year, Houston Township bought more water than all the water sold in Jay.
So we gotta look at that too, there's
That's
a lot of
right.
things here.
That's a big-
That's going on.
Where would they pull their own water to?
We already had their old water
It's
system
Wilson
Run.
before, it's Wilson Run, yeah.
Yeah, Mount Pleasant.
But they'll get some grants and so forth, like you say, it's talk on the street, I don't know all the
No,
details.
it's going on.
Oh, yeah, well, there you
Board
go.
members told me there
Wilson Run might have been great in the past, but Rosebud's going even after all that coal.
Well, Rosebud is going out of business, Big
No,
County
no,
County,
no.
Obama
It's not
shut
above there.
shut their coal
Yeah,
down.
DEP, they're going on.
They're going.
I mean, that's when we attend a meeting up there, that's some information you might find out too.
Could they consider that bringing the good ones?
I think they want to go on their own.
Their own.
Their own.
Yeah.
Well, they already have capabilities. All
They have a lot of infrastructure in place already. Lots of it.
The only
Including
thing
new
We gotta take good
pipelines.
care.
The savings I see right now on the table is the secretary, as far as keeping one full time. Where do you see?
Well, we got a list here of things we wanna look into, I mean, that's where we're
I
at.
really believe that's the.
Secretary's just a piece of the puzzle.
Yeah, but I
And
mean.
we're way back here at, talking about we wanting,
So who's gonna volunteer to do what?
I think both boards
Contact
need to sit down as
DCD.
their own entities and
But
do
don't
their
duplicate
homework.
something.
Do look at the pros and cons, look at everything as each entity and then come back and talk
The
to us.
research, Richie, is what she's talking about.
That's what I'm talking about. Each, us as a sewage board, them as a water board need to sit down as their own entities. We need to sit down, bring our stuff to the table, they need to do the same, and then sit down again.
Wouldn't you duplicate a lot of stuff though, that you could split up among the
That's what
two
I'm
boards?
Right, as far as like bringing budgets to the table, employee
Once you
hours.
do that,
things
then
like
you get
that.
together.
Right.
Once you get some of those.
But I mean,
questions.
it's a DCED study, I can contact them. I can contact DCED.
You know, that's another thing too, if Houston would go on their own, if their water would lose all that revenue, which is gonna knock this place down a few rungs quite a bit, so maybe then a merger might look more promising with the secretaries in it, because they wouldn't have to have as much workload onto it.
There's not much that
Well,
work, there's not much work for the secretary with posting Houston
They do.
Township's water bill.
It's a stamp.
It's just a, yeah, there's just one account.
Yeah,
That's nothing.
Bulk water purchases.
I agree.
It's just one bill.
Yeah, but if you lose 70,000 gallons
Well,
a
it's the
month,
revenue I was talking about.
there's revenue.
It's the revenue. It's not the secretary's job, you know, put stamps and mail in one bill, it's the revenue lost.
You know, another thing to look at too, you're talking about joining authorities. You can have a joint authority with the Houston Township Water Authority. So if you were combined together, what would be the burdens and benefits, let's say?
Well, the reason.
Now you're going down the road of regionalization,
Yeah.
and that's really music to the DEP's
Yeah.
ears, usually music to most of the legislators'
I
ears.
don't think we're.
You're not talking about merging two combined authorities, but you're regionalizing.
Yep.
They like that, yeah.
Oh, we'll absolutely love that.
I think one of us ought to call the insurance companies, since they're merging. Maybe the insurance would be cheaper in a way than
Pennies.
merging. Yeah, it might
Possibly,
be because we're
possibly.
not a separate identity, we'd be one identity. You know, we might be able to put everything under one.
Yeah, I don't know how much that
I
would
don't
change.
know
I mean,
what it
it
would.
may change some, but it's based on your equipment, at least, you know, they come in and check everything out based on what you have. You're paying to insure what you have.
But I know, you know, it's hard to stuff, they merge everything, the more you merge, the better it is.
Township has an insurance carrier, they usually incorporate all the insurance purchasing through the township. That would be a savings.
Yeah.
No,
You can't,
You can't do that.
they don't
That's a good
put it
idea,
under,
yeah.
under the umbrella.
If you do combine and you have a full-time secretary, would you split her duties up and have a full-time treasurer and a full-time secretary? Because what you guys don't realize is how much administrative work and secretarial work there is. I just know with the water authority, there's a lot that she has to do besides go to that office and post payments. And if you're gonna dump sewage and water on her both, that's gonna be double the work. So you may wanna think about splitting, like it used to be, secretary and treasurer for the water authority. Because there's gonna be a lot of secretarial work that's gonna need done for both, for everything. It's gonna be more work.
Or maybe as Denny suggested, a manager of some sort and a secretary.
Oh, there we go. There we go. Yep, there we go.
I don't know.
Jamie, do you guys have any thoughts on this as far as
It is,
your work?
it is.
I'm just a paid employee.
No, seriously.
I've been helping out down here for,
Jamie's addressing the board enough.
I've been helping down here for, just the past 3 days. I've been doing like 3 or 4 hours down here, 3 or 4 hours up there. It's a process. I can't speak right now. I know my water, I know that pretty good. Here, I don't know, so I can't. It's a lot of work. I'm not gonna say that it's not, but I can't honestly say I don't know. I'm still getting into it.
It's
You
gonna
know,
take some time.
to get a handle on this,
It's
places
a-
where I worked, you did a daily timesheet.
Yeah.
What hours did you charge to machine 32? What hours did you charge to machine 44? In the case of the secretary, how many hours a day does she spend posting bills? How many hours a day does she spend writing minutes? How many hours a day does she spend addressing customer complaints? And, you know, at first it's frustrating to try and write this stuff down. But then at the, you know, if you do it at the end of each day, just, and it doesn't have to be right to the second. If Jamie would just write this stuff down for both sewer and water, yeah, maybe it does make sense to merge bills together. And you have a, let's say the collection agency here that collects bills for everybody, and then the money goes into an account, goes into the water account, sewer account, I don't know. But, you know, you gotta understand where Jamie's spending her time, both on the water and the sewer. And I think that's the starting point where you find out.
And you'd be redoing her job description because she's working for 2 authorities, and you would probably have to honestly need to address the pay. She's gonna be working for 2 authorities.
And then, I mean, now that Bob brought that up, and that's something that I thought of, that could be a benefit, I think, if they did merges. You got one person doing bills, they know that if Joe Schmo comes in and pays the water, don't pay the sewage. You know what I mean? Then you have a more strict thing like that. Because I can look at it and see from when I was on the water, you know, who was late with the water at all times and who was getting shut off notices, and you're seeing it on the sewage. I'm saying people, but they're just not paying it. Because they're not gonna, you know what I mean? You gotta have that discipline there that, hey, you're not paying this. You gotta go through the processes of shutting off or getting the lean towards the property. You know what I mean?
And that's I told you at the last meeting, I shut them off, didn't I?
Yeah.
Well, it's not that, the people come down and say we shut the water off, but then they don't come down to the sewage, and we don't know if they did or not.
That's what I'm saying. You got one person that,
You understand, it
took
goes
a
on all the
phone
time.
call.
It goes on all the time.
Yeah.
Or vice versa, you know, so
Well, I think,
one secretary would be the key to both items, if we can do.
didn't the water authority have to notify the sewage when they shut somebody's water off?
Yeah, I had called Debbie. Mhm.
Doesn't always happen, I know that.
And then if she would also contact me if they got behind on their sewage bill.
Yeah.
And then we'd have to go out and shut them off.
and that wasn't happening. And that hasn't been.
Well, it was when I
I've
was
been
working
seeing
there.
It always happened before.
No, it doesn't.
Yeah.
I mean, as far as the sewage letting the water know that
Don't
it's
sit
not
there
happening.
smug, Franny, it always works. Till you come.
I know what we have.
Franny, you were the administrator, why didn't it happen?
I know what
You
happened.
were in charge, sitting on the board.
If that's somebody's duty, it has to happen.
Let's get back to the subject that we're talking about, instead
We
of
got 4 minutes.
talking
Okay.
about history. So, what's the plan forward? We're gonna have another meeting, we're gonna study some of these
Will you get
objectives that we have to learn about.
Well, if you guys are gonna do some of this stuff to
Yeah.
get this information, then where did you guys get some information? That's all I can say.
And we can get information on,
I mean, if Jeremy's gonna contact,
I'll contact
yeah,
DC,
your guys are,
chat with Tom and get some.
I think
What do you need from me?
I'll get them this,
I think we ought
about the
Budgets.
insurance company.
Budgets, that's
Okay.
just insurance, both
Insurance.
offices.
I think we need to contact the insurance
You could
company.
ask, you
Sure,
know,
okay.
I think we need to ask that question, if we would merge, here's the one, you know,
and a breakdown of
Employee.
average, we know we have 2 full-time employees that work for
Okay.
him, but you need to throw the average overtime in there
Average
from the
of-
water company. Do
Okay.
the same thing with what you're doing at the sewer authority with all your part-time people, so we get an idea of how many hours it is that you're paying out, or, you know, so, I mean, it's one thing to say we hired you for 30 hours a week, but if they are actually working 40 or 45 hours a week, you need to know that,
We need
you
to
know what I
know.
mean, and you have a guy working 10 hours or 20 hours, you need to know, you know, what you're usually paying out.
We can just.
Well, if you combined like the insurance and get under one policy, isn't that gonna be hard? Because you have to keep all your bills separate between the 2 entities. So is that something else you're gonna throw into an account and then try to remember to
Well,
split it
yeah, I
out?
mean, I mean, that's the question.
Because you keep combining all these bills, you're gonna run into a big mess when you're trying to split them out and get them to where they're supposed to go.
Mess with the auditor too.
And it's gonna be hard for the auditor. You gotta be careful with,
And there's rural water too, which we pay $400 a month, and you guys pay $400 a month, a year
Membership.
rather,
Yeah, a year.
400 a year.
So-
We're each paying $400 a year, that would go down under one authority.
I would think some of you other members though, if you're available, that you're not working, would be interested in going down and talking to Houston also, instead of just one person.
Are you gonna attend the meeting, or are you just gonna go in there and talk to
That's
someone?
what attend the meeting, and I want to go talk, I'm
Right.
sure he will too. Talk to the secretary, talk to some board members.
Mhm.
I have talked to one board member, ex-board member, and I understand their secretary calls all board members at the end of each day and reports to them what was accomplished.
Sending an email would be easier.
That seems a little excessive, though.
That seems
Yeah.
I know that.
That's
I'm
better
saying
than like
is-
managing there.
Why can't the board members go into the office during the day and ask the
Exactly.
secretary?
Or do a
No, I'm
weekly
saying is
email.
the secretary calls.
Yeah.
every board
Yeah.
member
A weekly
at the end
report.
of the
Weekly
day.
report.
Your
That
pay's,
would be- you
your
could
pay's
email
going up, Jamie.
When I heard that, I couldn't believe it.
Right, yeah.
But
Well, why don't we get a hold of them and see if they want to meet? We meet with them, all of us.
Just send a couple of people from, one or two people from
Yeah.
each board to go sit down with them, then you don't have to go through all of this just to ask us a
That's
few
what,
simple
well, that's what I'm
questions.
saying, I
we
mean,
don't want to.
get a couple people from each.
Right, yeah.
Get a couple people from each at one time, that way each identity's seeing what they're.
You can do, you go to their meeting just under visitors comment, just say, we're from Jay Township, we'd like some information. After you did combine your boards, is it positive, negative? Then, you know, I'm sure some of the board members will probably tell you that it's good and bad.
Mhm.
But then, you know, it at least gives you an idea of,
Do you know when their meetings are, Rick?
I'll find out, I think,
First Monday.
is there's the first Monday of the month, I don't know, I'll find out. Actually, Denny, I'll find out and let you know tomorrow night at the sewage meeting.
Okay.
Let me know.
I'll find out tomorrow.
Because I'll go,
Well, you'll be here tomorrow night?
yeah.
Oh, I'll find out.
Maybe even if you go like, ask them if they could talk with you like a half hour before the meeting, instead of taking all that time up at the meeting, maybe you could talk before the meeting.
Because I know they do, I think they do the workshop before their township meeting or something like that. I'll find out. I'll make a call and go up tomorrow.
Yeah.
Okay, so Jamie's gonna gather up the financials.
I'll go with you two guys.
Breakdown hours. We're gonna talk, a few of you are gonna go talk to Houston. I'm gonna get a hold of DCED. Is there anything else we need to gather before?
And the insurance, you know, too, because they're the same company. Yeah.
Right.
I had a thought on that insurance. A lot of times when you combine a bunch of people, the premiums usually go up. Most of the time, when you're
More
a
people
small
you have.
group,
Yeah,
the
if
premiums
you're-
go
yeah,
down.
on the same token, we each have a truck. You insure 2 trucks, you might get a discount on
Well,
your
you're
truck
talking
insurance.
auto insurance, yeah.
I mean,
Well,
there's
I'm talking
different
about like
categories.
health
Well, that's
insurance and stuff for
No,
employees.
well, our school system that I worked for, we had our own area schools, and we had a lot of people. The more people in the system, the less expensive that they
See,
were.
that's not always true around here.
Well, you gotta check it out.
It is.
You've gotta
it is
check
all
it out.
that. Like me at the plant,
Just call and ask.
we go out every year for day, and if we had, instead of having 70 people, if we had 100, everything would be cheaper on the health insurance side.
Mhm.
Same as my company, when we had 10 or 15, it was more expensive. When we had 100, we could negotiate.
Yeah.
Because the risk is spread out over more people than if you have a
Well,
small
that-
amount.
You're talking health insurance.
You're talking
Yeah.
business.
I mean, health insurance, workers' comp, it's all the same.
Right.
You're talking.
But I mean, we're talking about, what, at the most, 4, 5, 6 employees? We're not gonna hit a number that's gonna say, oh.
No, I'm saying the numbers you have are very small.
Right, right.
Nobody's gonna rush in to get your business.
Right,
And of course, it's tied up anyway in this state anyway, so it doesn't make any difference.
Well, there's another thing she can check out. If she's bonded with the water company and she's bonded for the sewage company, if you combine that she's working for both, maybe you only have to pay one bond on her, rather than two bonds.
That's a thought.
Well, you gotta
That's a thought.
look at everything and just not get stuck on one, you gotta talk to the man, the insurance.
No question.
But there's so many different areas where it might cost you more here and less there, I don't know.
That's part of running your business though, and
Well-
it's not, has nothing to do with it,
It's a good point.
Well, I'm saying, but you gotta talk to the man and see where you can save some money if you can save it.
Well, a good example is our electric bill. We were paying around, what, $12,000 more for electricity? I discovered the rate was way out of whack, and we changed our supplier and dropped it by $12,000. I mean, that's something, you gotta pay attention, but that's everyday activities that you have to be aware of, that's part of your management.
Right.
And you have to have that input.
All right, is there anything else before we close this up?
I guess,
Anything else we should
Jamie, if I
say
can
before-
tack one more thing on to
Yeah,
it, be to
bring it
contact the billing software people just to find out if that's a possibility with our billing, that you could bill one set of bills, because that's
Do you
not
want
just
me to
saving
get
postage, that's
pricing?
saving the time that it takes to print them, and
Do you want me to call Troy and just ask him if he could email me like a quote?
Yeah, you just ask them.
He'll do it.
He might be able to just go in and, change how everything's set in there too. He may be able to just go in and,
yeah, that's all I'm asking, is if the system we're using will
Can he
allow for
change it?
that.
Yeah.
Right, we'll allow for that.
Yeah, just
So
ask if
you're
our
saying
system could be changed to
estimate,
that.
they would still get a bill every month? They would estimate the water, and you pay your regular fee for the sewage. You're not talking about billing for sewage and water quarterly, are you?
No, that's what we were talking, it was suggested,
That's
to
too
break
hard.
it down to a monthly figure, maybe even the readiness to serve, and then pay the usage in the third month. I'm just, I'm just throwing it out there, the idea is,
That'd be one bill.
it takes time to print them.
It would
Yeah,
be
oh,
yeah.
secretarial work.
One
I
bill
just
for
wanted to
everybody.
make sure you weren't
Postage.
saying bill
And we're talking
quarterly
about
for everything.
how much work will be placed on Jamie, that would save her a lot of work to be able to print one bill.
Because elderly, that would impact them, you can't pay a big bill for that.
Right, no, nobody wants to get that.
but then every third month they would get, so every month they would pay $23 water and $53 sewage, and then every third month they'd pay consumption on water and sewage that third month?
Yeah, that might even be a little high there too, I mean, that's the
Yeah.
question. I'm just throwing it out there, it have to be broke down somehow, so you're not getting,
Yeah,
That's what Houston did do, they split their water up and they get a bill for both every month.
So it would be good to go talk to
But
other
they-
people that build it,
Yes,
get
exactly.
information.
I think they have, the same software, I think they have Capella. I think they have
their water
Capella.
bill is, they get so many gallons in their billing, though, right, like 10,000 gallons for the price. So,
Yeah.
that's easier to break down over 3 months.
Exactly.
You're not getting that big shock.
Do they have readiness to serve in Houston since they buy it off ours, or are they just billed for consumption?
They do have a readiness.
They have a
Readiness to serve.
Yeah, it's
Theirs is a-
4,000.
There's, the water is like $100 a quarter,
Something like that.
something like, so like $33 a month.
And then it gives them a set amount of gallons.
It went up too.
That's both combined. That's what David paid.
There's one thing I noticed, I went up to Houston, but their office was closed a month or two ago. I saw something interesting, they have a box out front, and the people can come and put their bill, their payment for their water or their taxes in this box. So they don't have to come in and take the secretary's time having to pay a bill. They could just drive up
As long
and
as
stick
somebody
it
doesn't
in.
figure out how to get in.
What's that?
As long as
No,
somebody
it
doesn't.
goes right to the door.
Oh,
No, it's right by the door, but it's a very secure one, but with
It
a
goes
wrench,
inside.
I could take it out.
We talked about that here one time.
It sounds
The
like
water
a
authority talked about
sidewalk system for
Every
that,
minute.
it's like a safer, it goes through the wall.
No,
I
but
can
it's
feel
for
Then
like
it seemed
they're
like
right
it's
in
a
the
good
door.
idea.
So a lot of
could be
times
a
I have
good
to come here and wait.
Too many things might
Piece
go
of
wrong.
it, They could just put it in.
You say you get that now?
I get people that in my cage on my window,
Yeah, I
they
like
jam
that.
their
I like that.
bill in that, and it's sticking out of
With a
that.
check,
With the check,
and then they drive away.
and then they drive away. Yes, that's happened a couple times.
Wow.
No, I mean, yeah, like you're saying, the letter box is locked or something. wouldn't be-
Yeah, it's like just.
And
in the
permanently
building, you make
fixed
it
to the
like
wall.
box, you know?
Right.
It's on the interior of the building.
You're still gonna, right, yeah.
We were already.
Like I said, it's on the exterior,
There-
it works well,
He's
they don't
my
have to take time talking to the secretary.
Right.
So we got everything what each
That's all I got.
organization's gonna do.
Secretary has to.
Yes, and then I don't know how long it's gonna take me to get somewhere with DCED, so I don't know if you wanna schedule another one of these meetings
I
now, or
think we should wait and then,
So you have the
once
information.
we feel like everybody's gotten their part of the information, then schedule
Yeah.
another meeting.
I mean,
That would be my
somebody can go
suggestion.
to each other's meeting and, you know,
You could share it, whatever information they get, they could share with the rest of the board members. Whatever information you get, you can make sure they get copies or whatever, so that when everybody comes here for the next meeting, everybody's on the same page.
I'll get a hold of the municipal authority. See what they,
We'll talk to each other, see what progress we're making,
Right.
and then we schedule a meeting once we have sufficient data.
Sounds good to me.
Alright.
good?
Can I get a motion to adjourn?
It's not a meeting.
It's not a
Oh, I don't have to do it.
Yeah.
It was already.
Nobody else